was a summer day in Camp Kiddush in Denver, Colorado, and we decided we were going to take our camp on a trip.
We took the kids to downtown Denver, and we stopped by the Denver courthouse. We actually went through security. All the bags had to go through. As the morning was going on, the kids actually seemed to be excited. They've never been in a real trial.
All the campers and the staff sat down in the gallery in the back of the courtroom. They got some procedural stuff done first, and then they were ready for the case.
You have your cell phones on, nothing electronic that you can record or take pictures.
And sure enough, the judge walks in, all rise.
They brought in a defendant from the side room, handcuffed. She was wearing a prison uniform. She was also wearing a religious face covering. You actually couldn't even see her.
The judge reads off the charges, and he says, we're going to be dealing with a trial of a woman who allegedly robbed at gunpoint a 7-Eleven. And then you have the prosecution calling up the first witness.
Do you solemnly affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony which you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
The detective comes, he's first at the scene. He says, yes, it was a dark woman with a long ponytail. It was clearly a weapon, a demand for money, Cinnabons, and a Slurpee. The prosecution calls up another witness.
She was white, of average height and weight. She had black hair, and her hair was in a braid.
This witness thought it was actually a white person, a white woman. The defense started to hey, wait a second, there's a contradiction here. Stira between the detective and the witness.
The prosecuting attorney turns to the judge and he says, we need to get this face covering off. We need to be able to identify who is actually here in the court.
Defense lawyer says, well, it's against my client's religion. And the judge says, well, wait a second. When she committed this robbery, she wasn't wearing a head covering. Whether you're the detective or the witness, you clearly saw her.
Your Honor, at this point, people would move to have the vertical removed so an identification can be made.
All objection, Your Honor. That's against my client's religious right.
Well, let me interrupt you just for a minute. How long has she had this religious belief?
Got into a heated debate. Defense, we didn't know why. She was very adamant that she not uncover her face or her hair. Trial judge says, that's it. You're gonna uncover your head, and we're gonna show who you are, you're gonna be convicted. Then the judge instructed one of the police officers in the courtroom to unpin her hair covering with her hand handcuffed behind, turned towards the audience. The kids were staring. What in the world is gonna happen now? And they uncover her head, slowly lift it up, and believe it or not,
It was actually me with my face half blue and half green, because it was color war. It was color war breakout.
the whole thing from the beginning to the middle to the end was Color War 2013, Camp Kiddush.
All the kids were excited. Color war breakout. Wow, we never would have expected this in a courtroom. After a few minutes, the judge pounded his gavel. He says,
I want order in the court. Order in the court.
and the judge started to explain the themes of the color war.
The theme is Sir Myra v. Asay Tove.
Sur Meira and Asay Tov. For the next 2 days, color war was going on. They all had fun. It was geschmack. And eventually, blue won. At some point after this trial happened, we followed up with all the different participants in our mock trial. There was a real judge, real lawyers, and everybody had phenomenally positive feedback. But one was really different than the other. And that was the response from the judge. Judge Campbell responded and he said, listen, I was reading through your script that you gave me after we broke out color war, And I never thought about this. This is a new concept, a new perspective for me. Sur meira ase tov. It's not enough to just avoid the bad. You have to actively, positively going after the good. This is something I have to put into practice. And this was a judge who has been in the justice system for so many years. Okay, fine, thank you. It was nice. Thanks for helping us with the case. And it would be the end of the story.
About a week and a half later, I got a phone call from a woman who identified herself as Jewish, not religious. She had an adopted son who was stood in front of the same exact judge for a shoplifting, and he got convicted for real this time. And the judge recommends that he does his community service in your camp.
This judge says, we need to send you to this camp. Go ahead, go to that camp, and you'll be able to learn properly how to behave. I saw them in action. They came to my courtroom, so well behaved. These concepts that they teach them are just so important. You need to go to that camp.
The camp season was over, but I was just awed by the fact how the judge went out of his way to make sure this woman got in contact with me, because he wanted that this boy should be in the presence of Chayes HaKodesh, of our Yiddish children. By just being who they are, it's going to rub off and have an impression on them.
But it started off as a fun, exciting color war breakout, doing what everybody does. All the Jewish camps have color war themes, but yet, from an outside perspective, it was a whole different perspective.
It's clear how us Yidden are always being observed, and people absorb our good midas, our good actions. How valuable our chinuch, how valuable Kiddush Hashem is, how valuable life of a Torah Yid is. Next time you're in a situation, even though you're having a great time, you're not thinking about, wait a second, is anybody watching me? Is anyone looking? Does anyone notice it? Just remember, look what a judge, a big judge in Denver, look how much he respects you. If he respects you, it should go without saying, you should respect yourself.